So, Bill, say nothing yet. Don't say. Just give us.
We'll introduce.
We'll introduce.
I shouldn't say anything.
Don't
Which is going to be amazing.
You don't want me to say nothing. Okay.
Oh boy.
Really? No, really. Really?
The Really No Really today. Hi, Jay.
Hello, Peter. First of all, welcome everybody to Really No Really. I'm Jason Alexander here with my pal.
I'm Peter Tilden, and
I'm
My first request is.
boy,
here we go.
It goes. He can't even.
Where
couldn't even
where
wait for
did
an
Really No Really come from?
You know? Can I?
Well, clearly not a fan of the show.
When I tell Bill, wait. You ready? You want to hear?
Is that? I've never heard of you. Have you just begun, or is this an ancient?
Yes.
And if you had waited for us to do the intro,
And this is
it
why
would
I
have
was
explained-
intimidated. I
it
was
would
No,
have-
but I'm so excited to be with you. I didn't, it's like it's enough of the foreplay.
But
for God's
you're
sake.
excited prematurely, Bill. You don't want to be excited prematurely. They've told me that.
Don't use the word prematurely on me.
You know what? There are pictures floating around my head now that I'll
This
never
was exactly.
unsee.
So what I was going to say is there's many really no really, Bill. Is
Where does
about
it come from?
It comes from the premise of the show is that Peter and I explore things that make us go really, no, really, and then we try and delve into those things.
Who is saying the quizzical really, and who is saying affirmative? No,
It
no,
goes
really.
back and forth.
Look at him. This is
Yeah.
a man.
See how he's already
Let me tell you something
dissected.
about Bill Shatner. The
Yeah.
thing I learned about Bill, a couple things I learned about Bill, is you
Then you'll
are the
tell
most,
me, right?
you are honest, and I mean this, Bill, and I'm saying it seriously. You're the most inquisitive guy. You go to a restaurant with Bill. First of all, he's a force of nature. You say no dessert, and he goes, "Yeah, waiter, bring all the desserts."
Yeah, all the
he just,
desserts.
he got me on a horse at a horse show. I hadn't been on a horse. I'm on a horse. He gets people to do stuff against their will. But he's the most inquisitive.
I really regret putting you on a horse.
So does a
People
horse.
were laughing about still to this day. They
I
see
understand. But aren't you the most inquisitive guy that you know?
But wait, before you ask him if he's inquisitive, the whole premise of our really, because you want to know how did you come to be part of our really no
Well,
really?
first of all, how did you guys meet?
Now it's the Bill
he's
Shatner
interviewing
podcast.
us.
It's
Look at
unbelievable.
this.
He takes over everything.
No, I'm just curious how
Same way we
this-
did. Same way we did.
Two really swell guys who are really among the most talented in town. One of you I don't know about, but I'm not going to tell. No, both of you are the most talented in your fields. They're really the most talented people in your field. How did the two of you get together?
We met on his
Same
radio
way
show.
we did on the show. James came on. We
exactly
hit it off.
right. We met on his radio show.
He didn't do a radio show. He ran an orphanage. He would pick up people and put them in his home.
Only people who were special. Only people special.
Even more remarkable, Bill, do you remember when you and I first met?
Wasn't it on a set? You were doing that half-hour show?
Nope.
Okay. We're all in suspense.
My best friends in the world approached you to have lunch with me for my 35th birthday, and you met me at Aroma Cafe. We had never spoken to each other.
That's right.
And I had no idea you were coming. It was a complete surprise to me. And
that's right.
I sat down, and you came in and went, "Hi, I'm Bill. I'm your birthday gift." And it took me 10 minutes before I could speak because, as you know, but I will tell our audience, I truly was started to steer towards the idea of becoming an actor because of how much I idolized you and your work.
I didn't know that. I mean, I don't remember that. What do you mean you were steering to? What were you doing while you were steering?
When I was a little kid, the only thing I was really interested in was magic. I thought I was going to be a magician.
Oh, that's right.
But he couldn't wait. This is so sad, Bill. Ready for this? So the kid's in his bedroom studying close-up magic for years. And then he goes to do it, and he's got baby hands. You can't hide anything. You can't hide anything.
I have a 3-month-old grandson. He's got bigger hands than I do.
So
It's
he couldn't
amazing.
do all that time and then couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Baby hands.
So you gave up the idea of being a magician.
Right. I started doing. We moved, and the theater kids were the first kids to pick me up. So I was playing, with theater and stuff. But I didn't think about being an actor. And then it was watching you and watching you work.
Wow.
Both
fantastic.
certainly on Star Trek. But I
Peter,
knew all of your work. And
what about you? Where's your background? Where did you get into
He's
broadcast?
interviewing us.
My background was in Philly. I was in a
Who cares? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. They're not tuning in for us.
I drove out here one day and got
No,
on the radio.
but really? No,
Yeah.
really.
No, but see,
Really?
He's now got it. He's going to take this.
Really?
No, I actually I was doing advertising.
Don't
and
answer
I got,
his question. He's not in charge here. I know he ran an entire fleet.
Bill Shatner. It's
an
Bill
admiral.
Shatner. It's
All right,
Bill
fine.
Shatner.
Do what you want to do.
I'll make it. So I was in advertising.
Play right into his hand.
And I got,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is our entire relationship.
Go ahead. Well, Dan asked you a question.
Just spend
Answer
5
the
minutes
question.
Here's the deal. I'll email you later.
You're going to have equal time.
I'll email you. Oh, yeah, that's going to happen. But with the two of you. So, no, I was
You can have equal time, just as long as the pay remains the way
I was
it
in
is.
advertising. I was doing stuff for radio
Are you
stations.
guys sharing the pay, by the way? Are you splitting it down
Don't
the
ever
middle?
bring that
Down
up.
the middle? It depends where you put the middle.
Yes.
Where, are you splitting
yes.
the
yes.
fee?
Yes, of
Yes.
course. We're
Yes.
Totally
yes.
equal?
Yes.
Is there a fee? I haven't seen it.
Are you being paid, Bill?
By the way, the
We-
guy
we
that's
haven't gotten-
your agent,
don't
can we
know
have
anything.
your agent, whoever your agent is, we want it to be our agent. So anyway, I got into radio accidentally because I was handling radio stations doing their creative. They said, you're pretty funny. They put me on. I moved out to California not knowing anybody out here and did it and was too stupid to know that I should be afraid and went on and just had a blast. And I've been
So
really
he had a
lucky.
Western country music radio
Oh,
show.
to go to that, to do that. Yeah, I ended up in country
for
music.
years, and I met all kinds of people because I'd go on the show. I'd be doing a horse show, a charity horse show. So every year, I would promise the people who are giving me money, the patrons, the donors, that I would get them some publicity. So I'd look everywhere I could go. Like it's still to this day, it's been 35 years. I've been putting on the Hollywood Charity Horse Show, and over the course of years, I've raised $500,000 a year. Over 35 years, that's millions and millions of dollars for veterans and for kids, horses and stuff. And I met Brad Paisley on. So there's Brad, like where you are, and we're talking, and I don't remember why Paisley and I continued on, but we became friends. Brad and I became friends, and as a result, I've appeared on so many of his videos.
Can I tell you something, though, that you don't know?
And he's sung on many of my albums.
Here's what you don't remember. Because people are intimidated by you. I'm a little less so because we've been around each other a long time. I asked you, I asked you, because it's true. I asked you, would you be in a video with Brad Paisley? You said, no, Brad Paisley, I don't know. So I invited you on the show with Brad there. I've never told you this, with Brad there. No. You met him on the show. And I asked you live on the show then if you do the video. And you said, of course I'll do the video, because you fell in love with Brad. And two videos later, one of which Jason directed. I
got to direct one
with Taylor Swift.
That's right, Jason. We worked together. You were the director,
and I remember very clearly. You showed up that day.
Calling. You were so good as a director.
Well, I'm continuing to direct, and we'll talk. I have work for you. But you mentioned two things I want to, and they're reallys for me, and I want to get to the bottom. So you talked about the horse charity.
Well, wait a minute. Well, you got work for me?
What? I have work for you. Don't worry.
What are you talking about?
I'm producing and directing things. If they come to fruition, you are a made man. You are solid. You're my Luca Brasi.
Oh, that gets him laughing. The mob is what he laughs at. That's
right. But the word if.
Here's my question.
We put you on our TV show.
You talked about the horse charity. What? Here's my first question with you and the horses. You're a nice Jewish boy from Canada. What's with you and the horses? How did it come to be horses? Is it all animals for you, or is it something unique about horses that speaks to you?
I think having bred a lot of dogs and a lot of horses and seeing characteristics, like that famous experiment in Russia where they took several wild silver foxes from the nature, and they put them in a cage and tried to domesticate them. Then took out of their litters the friendly, and they did about 20 generations. Took 40 generations. Took about 20 years. At the end of 20 years, after they were breeding for characteristics, which were gentleness and environmental, pleasant, being not biting, I guess is ultimate. They had foxes in the wild. Don't bark. They have a sharp cry. The foxes turned from silver to brown and white. Started barking. They started wagging their tail where foxes don't wag their tail. They became dogs in 40 generations, about 20 years. Mm-hmm. Horses can send along through their DNA characteristics that you breed for, speed or domesticity or whatever the characters within a person's lifetime. You can breed characteristics. That's got to apply in human beings. So I think that human beings have in their DNA characteristics that were part of their background. I think that on the steppes of Russia and Poland and Lithuania, my background is filled with people who loved horses. And so, although growing up in Canada, I had nothing to do with horses except once got on a horse and galloped around, and I was perfectly at home. It took until middle age before the whole idea of horses and breeding and riding and competing came to me. Then, as a result of that, and this theory I have of the universe taking care of me, and that's the really the theme of my book, Boldly Go, which is out there now, is that
you saw how you worked that in.
Always.
You worked that in beautifully.
If you are aware, if you're, whether it's prayer or contemplation or just being aware of you and the universe seems to take care of you, and that's what's happened to me. I think the universe has taken care of me through all would you understand if I use the word chazarai?
Sure.
That happened to me over my
translate
life.
the word. Translate the word for people who don't know. Chazarai means?
Chazarai.
Okay, very good.
Very good. Nicely done.
This is what you did on my password or
can I
whatever, where
just-
you end up throwing a chair. Did you throw
I
a chair
just-
on password because you gave away the password accidentally? Did that really happen?
Everything really happened.
Let me ask you a question.
I asked a question about horses. I got
did
5
I answer your
Let me ask.
question?
Wait, be ready for this.
Did I
one.
answer your question?
Kind of. Here you go.
Sort of,
Listen. So
Kind of.
Blue Argent.
Yeah.
We didn't interview you right after because we didn't have this thing launched yet. And I wanted to watch your reaction to a lot of people. And I was moved by you. Knowing you were genuinely moved. But I got to ask you this. Jason and I are talking about this. And we say, and I don't mean this to be indelicate, but were there contingency plans? Did they talk to you? Because something could go wrong. Once that thing launches, if somebody, not necessarily you, has a heart attack on launch, as Jason says to me yesterday, you can't pull over.
Yeah,
What-
you can't pull
do they-
over.
do they
do
talk
they have
about-
a defibrillator
Like,
on
what do
board?
they do?
have or are you stuck? If something goes wrong,
On liftoff.
So there's a countdown. First of all, we all remember the Zeppelin, the
the Hindenburg?
Hindenburg.
thing that burned in New Jersey.
Hindenburg.
the
Hindenburg.
the Hindenburg. So the Hindenburg burned. You know what burned in the Hindenburg?
It was the
gas.
the gas exploded, right?
What was the gas?
Hydrogen.
Helium.
Oh,
No.
helium.
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen.
Yeah,
Hydrogen.
Yeah.
Hydrogen burned. You know what they're putting in the tank of the
The Hindenburg.
rocket that I got on?
Hydrogen.
I'm sitting there on my back thinking, geez, hydrogen. And the countdown started. And before the countdown, and they've got a gantry up against it, and you go through the gantry into it's 11 flights up. So you get in, lie down, and then they close the door, and then a voice, the moderator, the guy's voice, all right, now, if anybody wants to leave, they should leave now because we're moving the gantry. If anybody wants to leave now. What are they talking about? Why would you want to leave?
I can think of
Well,
12 reasons
yeah.
between Jason and me. You want a
I'm gonna
list? I can
leave.
unfurl a list. So did they give you a contingency? If it takes off and somebody has a heart attack on the way up or somebody gets sick,
Is there a doctor on the crew? Is there anybody if something
No,
goes
man.
No, nothing.
you're on your,
No.
you're dead floating. You're dead and floating.
Yes, you're floating.
Wow. Did they bring it up?
Presumably, the G's going up and the G's coming down will bring you back to life because they're so
Really? No, really.
ferocious.
Wow.
That's what they tell you. Do you believe it?
No.
I didn't either.
Up
That doesn't
here
make
by
any
the
sense.
grace of
The
God.
G's will revive you.
And then you had a very different experience from what I would have anticipated. If I understood the statement you made correctly, it was an awesome experience, but you wound up having a kind of a depression response to it. Is that correct?
I've been, you know who Rachel Carson is?
Yeah, I know. Sure.
She wrote a book, Silent Spring, many, many years ago. I read it and was completely influenced by it. She anticipated global warming by 60 years. So I've been an ecologist, so to speak, for 60 years. I've made ecological films. I've gone around many parts of the world, making a show that is long gone now called The Voice of Gaia, I think. Gaia being the goddess of the earth. and looking at the spots that were crumbling even 30 years ago. So I'm very much aware of the approaching tsunami of terrible things that you and I, in our advanced age, will avoid because we'll die before it happens. But that grandchild you referred to a moment ago is in deep shit.
Dirty word.
Okay? Beep. Shit, beep.
Yeah.
Because of what we're anticipating is going to happen. Even if we were to start now getting the carbon out of the earth, it's too late for a lot of things not to happen. I'm so much aware of that. And I'm so much aware of the intricate, extraordinary, magical, unbelievable connection between us and this thing we call Earth. Everything, but you can't even imagine. I mean, what I just learned the other day, mist from the Brazilian forests, the moisture, because the sun lifts in a cloud, it now becomes a mist. It's so high, it's high enough that it becomes a cloud that is taken by currents of air towards the Andes Mountains, thousands of miles away. It hits the Andes Mountains. It falls as rain. The rain loosens diatoms from the granite, which now enter the rivers, becomes algae, which is alive, that makes that transition, flows out of those rivers, all the big rivers, the Brazilian rivers, and into the ocean, and becomes part of life. Already, just inert things from the Andes, from the Brazilian rainforest. I mean, everything is connected, and we're destroying them. And that's what I saw in that moment of this little rock.
Did it hit you up? Did it hit you up there? Did it? It's experience, and people have mentioned it's called the overview effect, and a lot of astronauts have said that. Whatever. Did it happen when you were up there? Did the sadness already begin when you looked down and you're in the capsule, or did it hit when you landed?
The moment I got off when I exited, we were all excited. Oh, we made it! And the door opens, and they give us a hand, stepping down. I get a hand standing out, and I start to cry. And I don't know why I'm weeping. I don't know whether that's ever happened to you. You're crying for some emotional event. You think, what the hell am I? Why am I crying? And I'm crying so I can't stop. Mm. And it takes me an hour, 2 or 3, sitting by myself saying, oh my God, I'm in grief. What am I? Oh my Lord, I've seen the earth. And I've seen it in all its glory, the way it should be. And the way I saw what it's going to be. And I was in this sadness, this grief over the death of the earth.
Mm. So on another note,
so far it's invigorating.
Does anybody
my
up
grandchild is doomed.
Yeah, this is the up segment. So, anybody enhance their insurance on you before you go? Do you have to get permission? I can imagine me coming to my family. By the way, Bill doesn't say no to much. You've done paintball. You've hunted Kodiak bear, which you said you regretted. You've done poker tours. I don't know that you say no to
with a bow and arrow.
Hunted with a bow and arrow.
Yeah,
amazing stuff that nobody else. You say yes to just about everything. Do you have to run this by?
It was the largest paintball at that time. 5,000 people. And it was for charity.
5,000 people in a paintball game?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
How do you miss?
In Gary, Indiana, they have a 175-acre paintball thing with all kinds of different environments. They've got villages. They've got automobile wrecks. They got a temple. They got all kinds of things. And you go and play 1,500 people.
Great. You can deface a temple playing paintball. Let's deface a temple. That's wonderful.
You go to a temple and you think, oh, Lord, don't sue me. Can I tell you a story about that?
Who's going to stop? Who would stop Bill Shatner from telling a story about that?
So there's 3 teams.
That looks very good, by the way.
What?
It looks very good, the toast with jam.
Yeah. What could be better?
Toast and jam. It's my
unbelievable.
Well, there's 3 teams of over 1,500 people a team. I'm on one. a manufacturer of paintball guns is in another. And I've forgotten. I think I've forgotten who the third one is. So you break every so often. Since there's 1,500 people, they call breaks for 100 people. Go have lunch. So I'm standing in line for lunch with Elizabeth, my wife, and I hear crying behind me. Somebody. I turn around, and it's a guy with a paintball pistol. And he says, I'm supposed to assassinate you, and I can't because I love you. I love you, Mr. Shatner. I said, what do you mean assassinate? He said, well, what's his name who makes the guns? He said, shoot him, and I'll give you a gun.
Shoot him on the lunch line. On the lunch line.
Hold on a minute. Here's what I want to do. I explain what I want to do. And I take him out into this broad arena where paintballs are flying back and forth. I say, hold on! I surrender! And I've got the gun on the guy, the paintball gun. And I said, wait, I'm going to get it! And you get the most points if you can kill the captain of that team in his premises.
Sure. Here we go.
I marched this kid, and I said, I'll get you the gun. Don't worry, I'll get you the gun. I marched this kid into the fort where the guy who makes the guns is captain. He sees me, and I go, oh, and I fake,
Dirty word.
a heart attack.
Look at this
I
acting.
fall to the ground. He comes up to me. I've got 3 paintballs in my hand. I slam them into him. I got him. I take the gun. I put the gun on the kid. I said, now march me back. So the kid had ostensibly had nothing to do with it. He gets his gun. I win the thing, and the guy is out. He never knew it until I told you.
The lesson we learn here is don't ever trust or turn your back on William Shatner. So Blue Origin, did you increase the insurance? Anybody increase the insurance? That you found out later? The kids went, yeah, we just figured we'd do it. And did you have to run it by them?
You have children. You have a wife. Did anybody come to you and say, don't do this?
Why are you doing this?
What are you doing?
We made a documentary of my going up there, which got very popular. And part of the documentary was they shot footage here at my home where my 3 girls and my wife are saying, you can't go. And I said, I'm going. She said, but you could die. No, I won't die. But Bill, you could. No, but it's way up there. I mean, the explosions, the thing, the fire, there could be a fire in there. Remember that fire? No, all those astronauts died. No, I'm going to go. Bill, you can't go. And they're trying to convince me not to go. They really meant it too.
Oh, bet they meant it.
Now, do you still stay in touch with Bezos? Does he call you at home if you don't get a package?
Jeff Bezos?
The guy who's Amazon. Does he call you at home if you don't get a package in time? Can you pick up the phone and call his cell and say, Bill, Jeff, I ordered something. It was supposed to be here by 3.
I had a guy, a well-known guy, and I won't tell you his name, say to me, and I won't even tell you the amount of money, but the amount of money they offered me was incredible.
Dirty word.
Millions of dollars.
Wait. He just said billions of dollars.
No, millions of dollars.
Okay.
Millions of dollars. If I would go to Jeff Bezos and see if he would buy this thing that he was selling.
Oh. Okay. Did you do it?
No.
And that thing is Amazon. By the way, Bill didn't do it. Not for the guy. He went and sold it to the
that reminds
me. It's my idea.
That's funny.
Did you think about, this reminds me of, somebody did a great joke. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Robert Klein about Neil Armstrong. Neil Armstrong had to be the classiest man ever because he goes to the moon, he steps on the moon, and he says, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. He said, somebody must have come to him and said, you'll be made for life if you step on the moon and say, Coca-Cola, right? Did anybody approach you to make a statement like an endorsement or anything?
All kinds of people came to me and said, if you'll take this up there, there was a prestigious thing if something went into space. So there were a number of people who said, if you take this into space, it becomes that much more valuable.
By the way, people can't see this who are just listening to your audio version. Bill's doing a contract, so he's texting somebody around to take another job. Bill will get 7 jobs while we're on the Zoom.
That's why he's able to do it.
When do you want me there? I'm sorry, but
he's doing it. He's selling, he's buying. He's buying his own. I was expecting, Bill, when you went to space.
I got to open the gate.
Oh, when you went to space, I actually
Dog's gonna eat the guy.
I expected you to wear a jumpsuit that had patches like a NASCAR driver, to tell you the truth. Chewing Tobacco, Preparation H, your latest book, your latest TV show.
The horse
It's a $20 million flight
Why
for
would
you.
you bring up Preparation H?
Well, it came to me, that's all. Why not?
What kind of an do you think I am?
Bill, I have a question for you because I just saw you on the phone, and it actually. So I follow you on social media, and I love doing that. But you do something that I really want to ask you about, and that is you get people that take you on social media. They're haters, trolls, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
But unlike most celebrities, I see you right back to them, and sometimes really,
Well, screw them. What do they know?
I understand, but you are fearless about that. You really.
Well, what are they going to say? I hate you? Yeah, I know you hate me.
Bill is fearless about a lot of stuff. Can I ask you this? One of the people who works with us said, you know what? Ask Bill, what's it like being Bill Shatner? You've been visible for 65 years.
No, you don't understand. My mother looked at me when I was born. I was visible then.
But you go out during the day. How do people? I mean, there's the Star Trek insanos. There's the Denny Crane people. You've been doing this for so long. You're so visible. What's that like being you and going to the CVS to get a prescription and doing your day?
It's a little hazardous.
Do people?
I mean, are you generally?
I get an injection as quickly as possible.
Do you feel like you can move through the world like a normal person? Can you go to the movies? Can you go to a restaurant? Can you go to the dry cleaners? Can you run an errand and have a
not really
a normal day?
Not without being uncomfortable. On the other hand, mostly it's people say, friendly hi, but I'm somewhat. I don't even know what the right word would be. It's like coughing. When you go, it's not something you want to do, but you have to do it.
Yeah.
But it's like with Jason. You know what? It's weird. You go out with certain people, and 3 people out of 10 can recognize and know who they are. With him, because of Seinfeld and what he's done, it's 10 out of 10. Same with you. We go anywhere. I watch, from my POV, everyone, it begins. The ripple goes through, and it's, oh my God. And you mean so much to so many people in so many different ways. But that must be insane, that everyone knows you when you go out.
Well, both of you been to my house? You have?
Sure.
Yeah. So, I've got this giant screen, which I just had enhanced about 2 weeks ago. In fact, that Bell was the guy who fixed the screen and the sound a couple of weeks ago, is working on another part of the house on another screen. So I've got an 11-foot television screen.
Jesus.
And I haven't had Monday Night Football in a while because of all this stuff, but I will as soon as we can everything settles down. So I don't have to go somewhere. I can play movies. Yeah. By the way, one of the great tragedies of my life is that the Academy is sending out
screener
electronic movies, not blue thing.
Yeah.
But you can do that. You can have your tech guy do it that way.
I can't get on it. I don't know how to
tech guy. You have an IT guy. All you have to do is connect to your laptop. You download the movie, and you can project it to that screen. Trust me. It's easy to do.
Yeah, your tech guy could do it.
And by the way, may I mention Monday Night Football, because this is something else you don't know. And Jason means it. It means a whole lot to him that he got to meet you, got to know you, that you were in our sitcom together. But Jason once said to me, Bill invites me to Monday Night Football. You tell it.
Well, I actually heard you say something on online, and I went, "Oh, I got to call Bill." You were so funny. You were so great. You were reviewing people who do imitations of you, and you were giving feedback on how good the imitation was, and I was included in that list. And you said something about, he used to come to the house, and I invited him. He doesn't come anymore. I don't know what happened. And I thought, I gotta call Bill, because the problem was, it's not you. This is me. This is my problem. The first thing is, I'm not a sports guy. I don't care about football. So I was coming to be with you. And what happens to me when I get in a room with people that I admire, that I'm not yet truly close with, I always go, they don't want me here. They didn't really want me here. I feel
sad?
very small, and I diminish myself, and I project a kind of they're just doing it to be not. I make all kinds of excuses in my head, and so for me, I stopped coming because I went, he doesn't need me
And
there.
then
He
the
doesn't want
nice
me
thing
there.
Jason said,
I'm just he's just being sweet, and
Well, can I tell you something, Jason? And I don't know whether this is common, because you see these pictures of how suave these actors look, and they flow through lines and interviews, and they look so good in their clothes, and their hair is so good, and the women they're with, they're glamorous, and I go to those things when I go on the rare occasion now that I go. I'm thinking, what am I doing here? I don't know anybody. I don't feel comfortable. I stand by myself,
Yeah.
I really don't know anybody. And so I don't go to these events, and they say, all right, we've got this event. We want to make you the citizen of the century. And I don't know. They're just doing it for publicity. I'm not going to go. I turn it down. I tell you one I did pick up though that I'm going to go to.
Yeah.
That's not far away. In the next several weeks, the California Music Hall of Fame. They're entering me into the California Music Hall of Fame.
wow.
Is that blowing your mind?
That
is
blows everybody's mind. I think you've done how
but
many
for the right
how many,
reasons.
how many albums have you done now? How many albums?
You've done 5 albums?
I think more. I think 7 or 8.
All right, now I got to ask you a question.
I've got two coming. I've got two. One out there now called Bill, which is available right now. Songs that I and Robert Chernow wrote, and then I performed at Kennedy Center at a extraordinary moment in my life. I don't know that we have the time to talk
Another
about
deal
that.
coming in. We don't want you to lose money if you have to answer that.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's a job. I have to go.
Here's the money. They just send him money. It just says $1 million. Pick it up.
But wait, so
No,
so
you
you
less,
got
less. I work for less than that now.
But Bill, here's what I want to know. I seriously want to know about this because you are.
I just want to finish the
Go ahead,
fact that
finish
I
your thought. But it's about your
entertained
music. But go ahead.
I entertained at the Music Center at the
Yeah.
Kennedy Music Center, the Opera Hall, and to a 70-piece orchestra, and with songs that Cherno and I wrote.
Right.
And it was an incredible success. It was like the farthest thing from the first album I had, which was mocked, to performing at the leading cultural center in the United States,
Wow.
to applause that they wouldn't let me off the stage, and that whole arc of design that I keep talking about, the universe looking after me, that I had a major musical success that's going to come out as a documentary and as an album live at the Kennedy Center.
Unbelievable.
It's going to be unbelievable.
I don't doubt it. But now here's my question for you, because again, I adore you, and everything you've done, I think I'm aware of, and I have many of your albums, and I actually appreciate the artistry on those albums. I really, really do. I also have Leonard Nimoy's albums where he sang, and not a great singer. You have a fantastic speaking voice. Why? I've never asked you this. Why have you never chosen to actually sing on your albums?
I can't.
Yes, you
I don't
can.
believe
Yes, you-
that.
Bill,
That's not
there's a man who
possible.
says I can do anything.
don't
He went
understand.
into space.
You're
You
not
can
tone,
sing.
You're not tone deaf.
Has nothing to do with
Give him.
singing.
Let's.
What's your claim about why you can't sing?
Jason,
Yeah.
Jason can sing.
And why do you think you can't
Let me
sing?
ask you about singing.
Yeah.
Do you harden your glottis? Do you go? Do you do a number on your back of your voice?
Harden your glottis.
I know.
Well,
what
I
you-
don't know how to describe it.
I don't know what you. I know what you're talking about. I have studied many different techniques and approaches to singing over the years, only because I was a Broadway singer. So my natural voice was fine. If I only had to get up and sing at a party, no problem. But to keep a healthy voice for 8 performances a week, that required training.
Right.
So I know what you're talking about, and there are some theories about, yes, manipulating the glottis in a certain way. But why do you feel you cannot sing? You're not tone deaf.
No, well, I'm as against having absolute pitch. I have relative pitch. I had relative pitch.
Sure.
I studied singing for a while, and then through the dint of work and all, I gave it up. And I really, you know how kids walk around saying, my mother should have made me take piano lessons.
Yeah.
I should have taken voice lessons. I had about 6 months, and I started to get relative pitch and stay on key. And then I gave it because I was busy. And I even auditioned for a Broadway musical way back, and the producer was very kind, saying, "That's very nice, and sure we would benefit from having you there, but we need a singer." So I never sustained a note, but my admiration for talent always goes to singers, especially trained singers.
Can we hear you? I want to hear you. I want to hear you.
Can you sing a line of any song that you like?
Give him a leading.
I don't know what. I don't know what
business.
you like.
Oh, say, can you see? I'm right there.
That's
right?
fantastic.
All right, but you know what I would do? You know what I would do and what I've done?
Yeah.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
Sure.
That's what I've done.
So proudly, we hailed at the twilight.
Does he do a good Shatner, by the way? Does Jason do
I do the best Shatner. He won't acknowledge it. He won't acknowledge it.
Do it. He don't acknowledge it.
I'll do it with
Go right now. Here you go.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
No.
There you go. It sucked.
I got into college.
You're hearing it in your head
because of how good I do you. I got into college. I auditioned. I didn't know that you were a friend of his. You worked when you were a very young man. You worked. You did some Shakespeare up in Canada with a gentleman.
What do you mean some Shakespeare? I was in a Shakespeare company.
Exactly, and you were in that company with a gentleman named William Lacey, Bill Lacey, who went on to become the speech teacher for actors at Boston University, and he was the guy I auditioned for. I had to do the opening monologue from Equus. I knew nothing about acting, so I did you.
Opening monologue from Equus.
Which is with one particular horse.
The doctor?
The doctor, yeah, with one particular horse called Nugget. He embraces the animal, digs its cheek.
I don't want to have
Well, let me tell you, I did the whole monologue.
Much like Shatner.
I did the monologue, and Bill Lacey said to me, I have no idea if you can act or not, but that's the finest Bill Shatner imitation I've ever heard. And he let me into the school.
Let me
into college.
Let's clear up. Can we like a lightning round? Although nothing's lightning.
But wait a minute.
I want to ask you about the cadence. It's
Peter,
about this.
I gotta
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Wait a minute. So the phrasing on the national anthem would be, "Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what's so proud?" That's the phrasing.
See the difference, Jason? The pro.
Right.
You don't do a good Shatner, Bill.
We do imitations. We're not you have what makes you the legitimate thing.
He sees it.
You're acting. We're only doing a parody of.
So that's my question. So there's been a lot of info about you that's erroneous, whatever. Broadway, World of Susie Wong. Audience doesn't come back from the intermission, a lot of them. That's how you develop the cadence to attract. Is that true or false?
Well, that has a certain amount of truth to it. I didn't know people were talking about that, but that's true. There were 7 newspapers on this Broadway show that I starred in.
There you go.
And 7 newspapers said it's the worst show they've ever seen. It should close now, but we had an advance sale of 3 months. I mean, all the leading lights of Broadway had been working on it. So we had to run 3 months. During that 3-month period, I took 15 minutes out of the running time, and instead of saying, "Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?" I say, "Can you see by the dawn's early light?" And it became a comedy. And we ran for 2 years.
Wow.
On Broadway stage, do you punch a guy out?
Say that again?
Did you punch a guy? You punched the guy out in Broadway. It was another actor who was touching you or punching you as part of the show. And you were
no, it wasn't part of the show.
Go ahead.
That's why I punched him out
on stage.
He was a former Olympic swimmer from Australia. Okay, he's got a smallish part. He's got a big brief. He's a feature player, but he's got one line that gets a laugh. So when he got a laugh, he'd clap me on the shoulder acceptably, which wasn't there opening night. Okay, so if it's not there opening night, the show's supposed to be frozen. at opening night, you don't do any more. You don't bring the glass any closer. You don't bring it any further away.
Wow.
It's frozen because if you move the glass of water here next night, second night, and the third night, and the fourth night, by the end of the first week, the glass of water is way over there.
Got it.
Which now is awkward because it spoils the timing. So you got to freeze the show. So you don't hit somebody in the shoulder after opening night. So he began to hit me on the shoulder, lightly if he got the laugh. But if he didn't get the laugh, and as a former Olympic swimmer, he clapped me in the gut.
And you punched him.
One day I said to him, whatever his name was, this scene is becoming whether I get hit on the shoulder and I wince because it hurts or not. I begin to anticipate and dread this very moment. You got to stop hitting me. He said, oh. And the next night he hit me even harder. So then I went to the stage manager. And I said to the stage manager, So-and-so is hitting me. And it wasn't there open night. Can you talk to him about not hitting me? So the stage manager. I then went to the director. What's his name? Who did Picnic and Broadway. The great...
Guggenheim, look that up.
Not Kazan.
We'll have Guggenheim look it up. All right.
No, the other one. Oh, come on.
Joshua Logan.
Joshua Logan.
Okay.
So I went to Joshua Logan, the director. I said, Josh, he's hitting me on the shoulder. Can you? Okay. He goes, I went to the union. Okay?
Yeah.
So after a couple of weeks of going to all these authority figures, I say to him, listen, if you hit me one more time, I'm going to hit you back. Either really? Really? Oh, really? Okay. and he hits me. He clobbers me. I go, boom, and I punch him back on stage, whereupon this curtain comes down, and now he rushes at me. He's going to kill me. He's an Olympic swimmer. He takes a swing at me. I duck, and he hits a prop man in the chest, giving him, what did that wonderful football player get? The heart thing.
Oh, no, horrible thing.
The guy goes down with a heart attack.
Oh, no.
And they give him three, heart pumping. The next night, the producer, the great producer with the mustache,
David Merrick.
Merrick.
Yeah.
So Roy Merrick, what was his name?
David Merrick.
David Merrick. Yeah. Producer. Is this like one of the great Broadway contingent for that show? So David Merrick comes in and he says, I hear you're having trouble. I'm going to, the stage doors, the stage rooms where the actors go are little cubicles made of cement.
Yeah.
And they've got a door that swings closed. So it's a fire thing. All the doors are propped open by a little wedge. So the doors are open, unless you kick the wedge out and the door is closed if you're getting dressed. So that guy comes into my room while David Merrick is there, and he kicks the wedge out, and the door slams shut. And now three of us are locked in a cubicle 12 by 12. It was then I realized we're all animals, because I was looking at his throat, and I thought, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leap upon him and tear his throat out with my teeth. That's really what I thought. And meanwhile, what's-his-face is trying to make amends.
Wow. Let me just say, wow. Wow.
And
okay.
I was hoping for the two-legged drop
kick. It made the
headlines. Right, wow.
Wow.
It was headlines.
Listen, we're not going to keep you much longer. I want to ask you a question.
I'm just getting warmed up.
I
what
know.
Are you talking about?
We have people. We have people to talk to.
Okay, you got people coming here. What do you got after me?
First of all, I want to... one of the big reasons that we really went really about you is that at age 91, you are doing 92, excuse me.
In March.
Very good.
Happy birthday.
You seemingly do more, honestly, between the charities and the professional work and the other side projects you're doing. What Can you speak to that at all? This vitality, this joie de vivre, this curiosity that you maintain. Many people, when they get to that kind of a ripe old age, they start to lean back. They settle back. They're less curious. They're less.
You lean back because you're not as strong. My shoulders are really painful. You're not as strong as you were, and your stamina isn't the same. But here's the thought, guys. here's the basics of everything for me. And that is I've got a great grandson who's approaching 3. I see him wandering around. Why do you have to look up with that? And that's what again? Where's the thing? I look up that. And he's like, everything is new to him. The texture of a banana is new to him. Why does he look at this? That, until you're around 7 or 8, is the inner child. That curious inner child is in all of us. That curious child. That child is in all of us. Vulnerable, hurt, having left your mother's teat, having to get on the bus to school, having to leave home. Everything has hurt you as a kid. And you're trying to tell your child, hey, you got to get on the bus to school because you got to get an education. Well, I don't want to go. I don't want to leave your mommy. You got to get on. The tearing of a child. So everything is hurtful. So there's this hurt child that is curious in all of us. The more you can keep that alive, the more you can keep that child vulnerable and curious, the more open you are to life. Everything is an adventure. Everything coming on your show to these 2 wonderful guys who join forces like 2 great rivers coming down into being the Mississippi. You guys are the Mississippi.
Wow.
But you know what, Bill? The reason that you're so amazing too is I grew up in a house in so many houses, and I didn't realize it till later on. Can I do this? No. Can I? I was a no dad. My default was no, and somebody pointed that out to me one day, and I went, "Why do I default?" I think it was parental or fear from my parents that I got it. You're not a nope. The big thing about you is not only curious, you're a yes. But you say yes to everything. When were you? When did that? What was the?
When you say yes to everything, I don't mean you get on the bridge and they say, "Should I jump?" Yes, and you jump.
No, but stuff that other people would
say yes to opportunity. Say yes to life. Say yes to coming on your show. I love you 2 guys. Oh. I'm wondering what you're doing. Really? Oh, really? Here I am.
And we're thrilled.
And Bill, let me ask you, not to get morbid at all, I'm really curious.
I fear death.
You do fear. I was going to say, do you bring that same curiosity about death?
Here's the way I go about life. I don't know whether you've gotten to that point yet, you 2 guys. You get up and think, oh, God, either, oh, wow, I'm not going to die today. I feel good. Or, oh, geez, the shoulders hurt. I wonder if I'm dying. Because you don't know what it is like to die. Right. Maybe you're dying. Maybe you're dying, and you don't know it until you die. You go, holy, dirty word, died.
You told me years ago. I said, "Why do you do so much?" And you said, "Because I'm scared. I'm not going to be able to. I want to get it all in.
I'm rushing around trying to do things."
Yeah.
By the way, just a little thing to take this back to the toilet. You don't know that you and Jason have a similar Broadway experience. You. Wait. You pooped your pants on a Broadway stage on opening night. Jason came this close to pooping his pants on a Broadway stage.
Tell me how you avert pooping in your pants.
I honestly don't know how I avoided it, but I was doing a Neil Simon play, and when I walked on stage in Act 1, I was going to be there for an hour and change. And I walked on.
You were what?
I was going to be on stage for over an hour the minute I set foot on the stage.
Yeah.
And on this one night, the minute I got on that stage, I went, "Oh my God, I'm in deep trouble. I'm in deep trouble." And I'm thinking, so like you, I'm jumping lines. I'm moving as fast as I can. But here's in our show, the set was a house, a full house. So there's a bathroom. It's behind a muslin wall.
Was it an operating bathroom?
No, but it had a toilet. And I'm thinking, am I there? Am I going to go into that bathroom and release
and do
this?
lines from the bathroom.
And a non,
I love you.
Right? Could you imagine? And so I held on. I don't know how I held on. And when the minute that curtain came down at intermission, I ran into the Stars dressing room and let go like a crime scene had hit it. It was just... But I barely was, and then I was.
I was doing a one-man show.
Yeah,
one-man show.
I was doing a one-man show, and I'd been sick the night before. In fact, Dr. Oz and this other doctor who's popular on CBS were my doctors.
Oh my gosh!
And I was dehydrated. They were giving me those drinks and stuff. And then I get to the theater, and I've been holding the porcelain throne all day long, and now I'm in the theater. It's opening night, Broadway opening night, one-man show, and I've had every orifice going.
Oh my God!
And then I get in front of the audience, and I'm doing my thing, and it's going well, and suddenly,
Boom, boom.
boom, and I said, "There's been a technical difficulty." Right back. I had flights of stairs to run up. I had to shower.
Oh my God!
It was.
And you came back on refresh.
my
You finished the
And I
night.
came back and said,
You're
"All
amazing.
right, technical difficulty
Oh my
has been
Unbelievable.
eliminated."
God bless you.
Well, Bill, hey, is it true you can't do the Vulcan salute? Is that true that you have trouble doing
That's
it?
true.
Wow.
Well, I can do it, and I say, Bill Shatner, live long and
I can
prosper.
barely do it. There you go.
Hey, listen, I'll take live long now.
Yeah,
I have, as you know, I have adored you from the time I was 8 years old. You have been meaningful in my life and so many other lives that you know about and don't know about. You're an amazing human being, and I am so happy to have made your acquaintance and call you a friend.
I'm so glad to be talking to my two dear friends, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Well, you were wonderful.
All right,
you're
pal.
wonderful. Keep at it. Keep being as curious.
And
man.
happy upcoming birthday.
Thank you.
You got
All
it.
right. Be well.
Take care.
Jeez.
Amazing.
He's still here.
Yeah, of course he's
He
here. He
won't go
doesn't,
away
he
now.
doesn't know how to
He's
turn
like-
it off.
He doesn't have to be
I have
anywhere.
no idea.
He was lying. He
This
doesn't have to be
is
anywhere. It was a
part-
big buildup.
This is part two.
Yeah.
Is it true that Johnny
Really?
Wait, is
No,
it true that
really.
Johnny Carson banned you from the Tonight Show? Is that true?
I don't think he banned me. I don't remember him banning me, but I was in the middle of. What do you do on a talk show, right? What do you do with Johnny Carson? So you tell a joke or you think. So I thought I've had this incredible day. I'll tell him my incredible day. So I got up and I did this, and I get to about 8:00 in the morning,
Carson's going.
and he interrupts me.
Oh, my God.
how brilliant.
It's enough of that. Shit.
This
And,
is what you should know about
that's
Bill,
all.
though. He is any area you ask, he's the most well-read person I know, the most well-traveled person I know. He doesn't just have dogs; he raises dogs. I'm at a Monday Night Football one night, and he has a Doberman the size of a pony, and he
Oh,
says,
I'm aware of the
"Remember?"
Doberman.
But he says to me, he says, "Peter, this dog is the best. He's my love. Don't be worried about it. He's the best trained dog you've ever seen. He'll sit here till I come back after. So we go watch Monday Night Football. We come back. He has eaten the entire door frame like a wood chipper. And he's like 8 feet tall. He ate the entire door frame, and it's like what's coming out of his butt is like sawdust chips. It's unbelievable. Best dog ever. Best dog.
Only wish that had come out of my butt.
Oh my God! What a beautiful dog! What a beautiful. But Bill is that passionate about dogs, about food.
That dog.
Wasn't that dog great? Remember?
has gone to dog heaven, but we've got two more here.
They're
Who love
beautiful.
to eat carpets. So we have these wonderful antique carpets, and they've been antique to the point that it's embarrassing. And I don't quite.
But you're
know
that
what-
passionate about them. You're that passionate about food. You're that passionate. Again, going to dinner. Yeah, we're done. Waiter, bring 3 more. He just takes over. It's just you become part of Bill's thing, and that's what's the most beautiful thing about you.
That's
by
how
the
we
way.
made Admiral.
You're an
My
amazing.
God.
There you go.
You know,
by the
not
way,
every- not
which
every
is more
captain becomes
more
an
annoying,
admiral.
tinnitus or George Takei to you? Which,
Say that again.
which is more annoying, tinnitus or George Takei? If you had to pick, which one? Neither. You don't even want to talk about George.
That guy. Well, no. That guy. He's really ill. I mean, I don't know him. I haven't seen him in decades.
Since the roast.
When he was on the show, he'd come in for a day, a week, or somebody told me he was in 50 days out of the 3 years we were shooting.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, but he was negligible in far as my world was concerned. He was a peripheral guy that I would see occasionally. But since then, in 60 years since then, I've seen him 3-4 times, and and I don't know him, and he continues to denigrate me, and I don't know why. He's a very ill individual.
Should we get it? Would you ever do a reproachment? Is that something before you go that you want to patch up, or you don't care?
There's nothing to patch up. I
Okay,
don't know who he is.
Okay, well, I'm just asking.
He does this thing for publicity. He's got a show opening up in England,
All right.
and he's publicizing his show.
I'm sure he'll answer to this. He'll critique this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Bill,
See, but it doesn't bother you the way it bothers me. If I know one person out there doesn't like me, I can't sleep at night.
Well, it bothers me, but what am I going to do about it? You know?
Yeah.
Remember him at your roast on Comedy Central roast? Jason hosted.
Remember that about the roast? I used a piece of film on him on the one-man show. I used a piece of film on him. He had. I came in on a horse in my roast, right? So I come in on the horse, and he's got the line they wrote for him. You and the horse you rode in on.
Yeah,
it's a funny line.
Great line.
He read it. You and the horse you rode in on. It wasn't funny. He really meant.
You said to me, I saw you right after the roast, if I may say. I was in your trailer
I get
waiting.
the biggest laugh on that.
I was waiting for you in the trailer, and you walked in, and you said to me, and I hate doing your impersonation. You said, I knew he didn't like me, but I didn't know he didn't like me that much. Because he went, it was like, oh my gosh. It was
ferocious. I mean, it spewed out of his nose.
That whole night for me was, I was so flattered you asked me to be your roast master, but I remember walking into the soundstage with you for it. And I said to you as we were walking over, Bill, why exactly are you doing this? And you said, you don't think this is going to be fun? And I said, I think there are people up there that really are looking to hurt you. And I said, and you went, no. And then you came back after and went, boy, he really didn't like me very much.
Well, Leonard, I asked Leonard to be on. He said, I'm not going up there.
Oh, it's brutal. It's brutal.
But I had fun. I don't.
You
think
did have fun. You
enjoyed it.
You wouldn't even laughing at the Takei thing. You thought it was all hilarious.
I think it was funny. And then I think what I remember is they wrote for me some great lines in response.
Yeah.
And I had a great time going back at them.
You were great. You look wonderful. Stay healthy. We'll have lunch all together.
Yeah.
And you be good. I love you very much.
Take care, guys. Your show's going to be a great hit.
Thanks,
From your mouth, man.
Take care. Be well, Bill.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Well, what do I say?
The thing for
now
me.
That sounded like we were just having a casual conversation with a friend, right? And I'm sitting here
intimidated.
I am shaking in my boots, going, I am still that 8-year-old child going.
I know.
That's my.
You know what's funny? People don't know. We did a TV show called Bob Patterson, and we brought in Bill to play Jason's nemesis, thinking it would be the greatest thing to have him on stage filming with his idol.
Sure.
And Jason was off-put every scene.
I couldn't.
Every scene. And there was a scene where we had Bill Shatner kiss you.
Right.
And he had a mint in his mouth and ended up in your mouth.
Ends up in your mouth. Right.
And I remember you after going, it looked like you'd been kissed by your idol.
Right.
He is, I'll tell you what, a lot of people talk about Bill, getting to know him for as long as we have and worked with him as many times, that he doesn't suffer fools gladly. All of the things of him being miserable are if people tick him off.
No, and honestly, I brought up the thing about how he treats people online that have been rude to him or just inappropriate. And he doesn't just block them. He responds. And I go, wow.
So the things I didn't get to ask him were true or false.
Yeah.
The Vulcan salute we did, he once did comedy, stand up. He thought it'd be funny to do it as Captain Kirk, and that it would be bland, and he got killed doing it.
I can't imagine.
He did throw a chair across the stage of $20,000 pyramid because he got ticked off. He trick-or-treated wearing a Bill Shatner mask, which is the Halloween mask.
It's the Halloween mask. Right.
He had his own DVD subscription service for sci-fi that would be curated by him that didn't go so well. But I also wanted to ask him
if it was true that he sold a kidney stone.
Oh, he did. No, he did, but it was for charity. But it was for charity. And we didn't get to ask him.
Think of that?
A lot of stories about him and Nimoy that they're not friends. I only saw them being close. The one night
I saw them at his house.
He described it that he's got a giant screen and there are chairs when you go to movie night. And I walked in, and you don't take pictures, you don't do anything because it's about friendship and it's low key. But the three chairs are Shatner, Nimoy, Patrick Stewart, watching a big screen.
Yeah.
It killed me not to be able to.
And that, if I walk in that room, I do poop. I do poop. I don't make it to the face.
And as we go, let me just say that Jason said, I don't go to Monday Night Football because I know he doesn't want me there. You go, even knowing he doesn't want you there.
Yeah, you're cavalier.
I don't mind.
I was anxious, so I'm going to leave you with a really for the day. I found this out, a little really, and see what you think. So this was a little bit of anxiety for me because I'm saying that it's been proven when men have anxiety, it doesn't manifest in like nervous tics or worry. It manifests as anger, muscle aches, and alcohol use. And I know you've gone through this whole thing with a migraine today, and I'm just wondering, anxiety? You anxious about something?
It's funny. I don't view Bill the same way you do. I love Bill.
Yeah.
But I know I wasn't the biggest Star Trek fan. I just love him as a person, because he's just hilarious and smart and whatever. But I think there is anxiety about still anxiety about, I just want to do good by you, by him. You know what I mean?
Because he'll hit you. At 91,
He has.
if he doesn't like the thing you say, he'll
And I got to tell
take
you,
on.
it's got to be Gene's, because we'll go out to lunch, he'll hug me, and he feels muscular. He's
and
unbelievable.
look at, honestly,
On
for the
face,
people
I
that
know.
were able to watch us as opposed to just hear us, there's not a line on his face.
All right, let's go. I got to go to the bathroom. Really, no,
madness.
really. I really got to go. And you know what we didn't do with him? Laurie,
What?
producer Laurie. Producer, come in here. Come in here for 1 second.
Queen
Before- 'cause
critique.
we gotta
She's
go.
already gone. You gone too
Queen,
long.
she's got the
You
rest.
didn't ask the right
by the way,
questions.
producer
There was-
Laurie's resting face is
Yes.
you did something wrong. What happened with the really no really? Shatner's really no really. Did you ask him to have one prepared? Did we forget that? You didn't.
Didn't do it. All right.
We'd say you're fired, except that we have no one else. We have David and you can't fire. We can't fire anybody yet. We have nobody.
Ashley's giving us our publicity and social media person giving us a thumbs up. I sit there and go, "What did we do today?
She would give
what
us
did
a
we
thumb-
do?
Listen to me.
We didn't even get an introduction out. The man started talking. We didn't even.
But you
say-
knew that was going to happen with Bill. Bill
I
takes
didn't
over.
know a
I
damn
was
thing.
shocked. I was shocked that we got as much as we got with Bill. And I said to Jason before today, I said, you know what? Be prepared, because he goes. But
What?
he's.
Be prepared. You can't be prepared.
But you know what?
For that
But that's
experience.
what makes Bill Shatner. Bill Shatner, and that's why Johnny Carson banned him, because it was like, shut up. It's my show.
But
I
it's
mean,
also he takes
He's
the
passionate.
event by the throat.
He's
You know?
passionate about the interview. He's passionate about what he's eating. He's
Yeah.
passionate about. You should have seen him, if you can't see it, eating his toast and jam. It looks the best thing he's ever eaten. Right.
Right. He's
you
having
go out to
tea and
sushi.
toast and
You
jam.
go out to sushi with him, and he goes like this.
He's having
come over,
having
sushi.
the throw up meal. He's having the throw up meal. Tea and toast and jam.
He can force you to do it. Okay, Googleheim. What did we bark out that you were going to look up? Do you remember?
We had a lot.
Okay, so go ahead.
yeah,
Clarify.
well,
This
go
is
ahead, yeah.
David. By the way, Guggenheim. When I now look for all the emails of yours, I actually put in Googleheim, because we've named him Googleheim because
He's the master Googler.
He's the guy who's supposed to say, "This is what you wanted to know." You
Yeah.
forgot the disclammer. You should have said allegedly, because you'll be sued.
Yeah, right,
so,
yeah.
so what do
So
we do?
go ahead,
What's
fill
give
us
us the
in,
recap?
David.
Yeah, well, number one, Mr. Shatner has released 11 albums.
11 albums. 11 albums.
11 albums. I could go through them.
Are we okay for this? Are we okay? Are we cutting off Guggenheim? That's fine here for now. We'll do him
Yeah,
over there
we're
later.
good.
I just like him as the Wizard of Oz behind
Go
us. It's
ahead,
funnier.
yeah.
But go ahead.
11 albums.
You know what? His face is big enough this way. It doesn't have to be bigger.
That's
It's
good,
enough. It's
yeah.
enough
I
already.
No, I think it needs to be bigger.
Yeah.
You want to wait? Get
my
it out of the way,
contract-
David.
Peter,
Say hi.
My contract said bigger.
Say
Bigger
hi-
and behind.
Do this already, so you
This
can
is
get it out of the
Guggenheim,
way.
The way
Wait,
of water.
Don't say
He's not gonna
anything.
be
This
happy
is
till it's 3D.
This is in his contract. We have to be quiet. Do the full face. Hi, Mom. Go ahead. Go ahead. Say hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, very nice.
He wanted in a
Second.
clear shout out. So go
We
ahead.
also
So,
had we had the Yiddish word we needed to.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hazarat was it?
Chazarai. Which is junk, isn't it?
Chazara. That's my pronunciation. It's a Yiddish word, obviously. Food that is awful, junk, trash, anything disgusting, even loathsome.
Yes.
So if they give you junk, it's Hazarat. Okay, that's good, Dave. Good. Go on.
He also did the Celebrity Paintball Mobster Mash with 660 people at the age of 73 in 2004.
Man, I
And of
wish.
course, he had mentioned Jason's directorial experimentations or work that, of course, include many, including Mike and Molly, Franklin and Bash, Till Death, Criminal Minds, Everybody Hates Chris.
Is this your bio? Is this
Campus
your
Ladies.
credits?
Yeah.
What am we giving your credits for?
I don't
Who cares about this?
Well, no, he said.
And
because
I
he was
directed
talking
Bill
about that he had
Shatner
directed.
in the Brad Paisley Cooler Online video.
With
Which
Taylor Swift,
also
with Taylor Swift.
introduced Taylor Swift. And for which
Jason,
I
it seems
won
like a
a
lot of
country
them are just
music
one
award.
time and
I
then
won a
they
country
move on.
music
You
award.
did win a country-
What did you
and-
get on that, Peter?
A country music award.
No, you didn't. Did you get it?
It was who put you in the video?
It said Best Director.
Who put you
Mine
in the
says
vi-
Best
who put
Director.
you
What
in the-
did you win for?
Best video.
Best Video?
Best video.
And
Who-
you got the award.
How
for
would
that?
you have known the country music world unless I brought you into that? Boy, Pete, you know what? This happens all the time. People forget what you do. You loan them money. They start a big company. Oh, done. Shatner forgot that I introduced him to. He turned down Brad Paisley's video. And so I got him in studio where he was with Brad face to face, and he couldn't say no. Now it's Brad, and I loved him. No, you didn't. That's not how it started.
Well, I remember you introduced me to Brad. He showed me the song. I came up with the whole script.
Why did I introduce
How
you
did
to
you
Brad?
get an award?
I introduced you to
You
Brad.
got an
like this.
award for an introduction? Best
We
introduction.
came up with what the video was to get you. See, here we go, rewriting history. It was all you're right.
The whole
let's
video.
leave it at that.
It's a narrative
You know what?
story.
As we go out of this
What do you
episode
mean,
of Really
how
Not
the
Really, let's
concept?
just get this clear.
What are you
This was
talking
your
about?
idea. The whole staff is your idea. That was your idea. Drive safely, everybody.
This was your idea. I'm not taking credit for this.
No, you're waiting until it's successful.
then
it's
I will
your
take
idea.
credit. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.